Best thing about Salt Lake City, if anything, out of all of its characteristics?
Wow.
Your personal opinion.
You know, this is gonna sound generic, but the weather, not for the snow specifically or for the mountains or anything like that, but because we have all four seasons, we get them very heavily, right? And so, what I find with that is that it makes you appreciate, when you've had cold for 3, 4 months straight, you appreciate the summer when it comes back around, right? So, I find a lot of refuge in that.
Speaking of the weather, when it gets hot, how hot does it get?
It gets hot, man. Yeah, it gets hot.
100-degree temperature?
Yeah, easily. Yeah.
110, 120?
No, I don't know if 120, but we've seen 110. We've seen 110. I think we've seen 110 here and there. Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's just dry though. It's a little bit different than Atlanta, because you guys have the humid essence to it, right? So it's a little bit different, but yeah, it gets hot.
And then how cold on the opposite end of the spectrum does
That's
it get?
that's the rough one. Yeah, it's blistering. You know what I mean?
0 degrees?
Yeah, absolutely.
Negative?
I don't know about negative. If you go up in the mountains, I mean, you know what I mean. It's to the people that go ski and things like that. You might get a little bit more of that, but it gets pretty cold.
On the opposite end of the spectrum, when it comes to characteristics about Salt Lake City, worst thing about Salt
The
Lake City,
worst thing.
if anything.
That's tough. The worst thing about Salt Lake City.
If the weather's the best, what's the
Yeah,
worst?
We tend to close a lot of things really early in the night, um, specifically throughout the week. So I think the food choices tend to be very limited. When you get past that 8, 9 o'clock, you know what I mean? It's yeah, it's either like McDonald's or I don't know if you guys have it. It's Rancheritos. It's like a Mexican spot. They got burritos and things like that. So that's about all you're getting after 9.
Do you have a solution to this?
I don't know if I have a solution for it. I wish that. I think in reality, I think that as the city continues to grow, I think that just the demand for that is just going to continue to grow, and I think eventually there's going to have to be, kind of like an expansion on that end. But I guess we'll see.
Now, are you able to say you're from Salt Lake City without actually saying you're from Salt Lake City?
Fry sauce. Yeah, fry sauce. That's the one. Or if you can say Tooele, that's a city that if I told you how it's spelled, you wouldn't be able to say it. So, yeah, I think fry sauce, that's the one thing that we have out there that you go anywhere else and you don't really, it's kind of hard to find. So, yeah.
Care to shed some light on what that is for viewers
Oh,
watching
there you go.
this?
Yeah. So fry sauce is essentially, if you were just to, boil it down, it's kind of like a ketchup mixed with mayo, sometimes like a little bit of mustard and some seasoning. And it's like all blended up into like this one thing, and then you dip your fries in it. And yeah.
And is that something that people or restaurants actually make, or is that something that local stores carry?
We carry every single restaurant you go to. A lot of times they'll have like their specific fry sauce, right? Like their twist on it or whatever. But yeah, they'll all have a fry sauce. You go to the grocery store, they got fry sauce. You go anywhere, they'll have a fry sauce. Yeah.
What's the most Salt Lake City response when asked, "What do you do for work?"
What do you do for work? That's a good one. You want to help me out with that one?
I don't really feel like people ask that too much, but
Yeah,
I'd
that's
say
What's the most Salt Lake City response when asked, "What do you do for work?"
what do you do for work. That's a tough one.
And if there's not an answer, then there's not as
Yeah,
well.
I don't know if I have one for you on that one. Yeah.
Care to share whose voice that is off camera to the side of you?
Yeah, absolutely. That's my friend Amel. He's here. forever overseeing that, everything goes as close to as planned as usual. He's always been there for me as a friend, and even now more as I guess, this artistic journey that we're on, and yeah.
Certain position he plays in that?
Yeah, absolutely. So he's taking the managerial role. He's a very astute, business-minded person. His parents were immigrants from Bosnia, and they've started their own business and have worked very hard and have become very successful at what they do as well. And he's learned a lot from that, and we've learned a lot from that. And from those experiences, I think that we make a pretty good team.
Do you remember how you two first met?
I think so. I think so. It was we went to a junior high that goes by the name of Eisenhower Junior High. I had just transferred there from a different junior high that was a little bit away, but yeah, it was I think it might have been like my first or second week there, and I'm not sure exactly what brought us to have a conversation, but it probably might have been about a girl or something, and we just started talking, and we both share love for sports, and we became close friends ever since.
You two had the same class, was in the same grade?
Same grade. We must have had the same class. Yeah, I'm sure we had one or two same classes, but I'm pretty sure it was like during recess or after school that we had like our first conversation.
What grade was this?
That was ninth grade. Yeah, junior high. So I don't know if you guys count that as high school, but we tend to, yeah.
Mel, do you want to fill in any of the blanks there?
Yeah, man, I think we met in gym class.
Gym class, there you go.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was gym class. I don't know, I looked at him, I was like, who's this kid? And
Yeah.
I don't really remember the exact conversation, but he seemed like a pretty chill dude. We had a connection on soccer, and then especially music. So I never did anything as an artist, but I appreciate the music industry, so we connected on that quite a lot. Plus, his mom helped me get into the same high school, so
There we go.
cool.
Yeah.
You know you're from Salt Lake City if you have this in your home. Fill in that blank.
That's a good one. It's gonna sound funny. Probably like a Book of Mormon. A lot of people have a Book of Mormon at home in Salt Lake City, even if they're not Mormon. But we have a huge. Obviously, it's the nucleus, right, of the Mormon church, right, and so we have missionaries coming by all the time, and sharing their good news, and just sharing what they got to offer. So a lot of people, one way or another, will stumble upon one of those.